Greetings, good people. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. This is the Epiphany of our Sovereign, the 6th of January, sometimes called Little Christmas. It's our time also when our friends in the Orthodox Christian world celebrate their Christmas, those who are on what's called the Old Calendar. The acclamation during the Christmas season is Christ is born, give glory. And we respond, glory to God in the highest, and peace to God's people on earth. We celebrate during the Epiphany season how God's light and truth and love have come to us. Specifically, how they have come to us in Jesus. How they come to us in the ways of humility. How they not only draw us, but draw the entire world to this greater way and vision that God has for the world. This way of love and light, which is lived out through the power of vulnerability, as we see in the birth of a child who even draws unto himself others from all around. So my friends, on this day, I invite you to take a moment to reflect. How has God been a light to you? How is God's light reflecting through you and by you? We often can think of all the ways that we impede God's light and the way we've not trusted in God's love for us. But I invite you this day to notice what draws you to God and who has reflected that light to you to help you be drawn in. Was it a parent, a friend, a Sunday school teacher? And hopefully there's many, many people in your life through whom you have seen these glimpses. Have there even been people who have not been directly part of the faith, but have shown you love and light, have been humble and vulnerable in your midst, and brought to you the gifts of Christ? And so on this day, when we mark those things, when we remember those things, when we celebrate those things and give thanks for them, it is a way of giving glory. Glory back to God, who shows us peace, who shows us what it means to be whole. There are definitely ways in which we ourselves still feel broken and unwhole, and still feel not at peace. On this day, we know that there are various contentions happening around our own nation, perhaps even in our own families, not just politically, but also around the areas of health. Yesterday having the largest total number of deaths in one day in our country since the beginning of the pandemic. And so we're still in the midst of all this. And yet, God's light is still with us. Emmanuel, God is with us. So it's important for us to take a moment to notice that, and to share that, and to reflect that. I want to share one example. There's many, many examples, but one example that was helpful to me just recently. I've taken a habit of journaling. Don't do it all the time, but there's spells and periods where I do it. And I just picked up my journal again yesterday after a period of time away from it, 45 days or more. And I began writing, and I found myself in a dark, dark space. And I happened to page back through my journal and saw an entry on June 22nd that reminded me so clearly that God's light is with me and with you. And it was a great reminder. It gave me opportunity to even see from my own self God's glory and love and light. And it brought a renewed sense of hope to me. So I encourage you, my friends, to take time to notice and to give thanks. Perhaps even taking up the task of journaling and going back and seeing how God spoke to you back then and may not have noticed it as profoundly then as you do now. But it's really important, I think, as part of our celebration, to recognize that the Anointed One, Christ, has been born in our midst. And so give glory. Look at those ways that light and love is reflecting and shining through you and to you. Thanks be to God. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.